Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our second Microsoft session of the afternoon. I'm here with Polly Moore, our Customer Success Manager, and we're going to be talking about accessibility in Microsoft Teams and Microsoft 365. And I'm really hoping that Polly's going to talk to us about the dictate feature this afternoon, because that's one of my favourites, and I just find that so useful to be able to dictate in Word, Outlook, OneNote, and other apps as well. So I'm going to hand over to Polly just to let you know that this is being recorded this afternoon. So if you do miss any of it or you want to share this with your colleagues, then you can do that. Please have your cameras off. Please have your microphones off. If you want to ask us any questions, please just pop them in the chat bar and we will try and answer them. So over to Polly.
Perfect, thank you. So welcome everyone. I'm just going to minimize this little box. So I won't be able to see any of the questions or anything like that, but I'll make sure that we have time at the end to run through. So I'm Polly, I'm a customer success manager from Microsoft, and I work with local authorities across the UK, so Wales, England, Scotland. So today I'm going to be talking about accessibility and the features within Windows 10, Office and Teams as well. Is something that I'm really passionate about. So hopefully people walk away today at least learning one new thing, or just increasing the awareness of what's actually out there. So I actually just wanted to pull a few slides together because I think it's important we just reflect why this is such an important topic to organisations. So traditionally, disability was seen as that personal health condition. So the issue was with the person in the 20th century. That's kind of how we perceive disability. But actually, disability, it really is about mismatched human interactions. So the environment blocking that individual from achieving something. So what kind of technologies are there to enable the person to not be blocked by the environment? So when we think about accessibility, it is required by over 1 billion people, and out of that 1 billion, 70% of that number is hidden. So often we're communicating and collaborating in our organizations, and we may not know that the person on the receiving end, may have a visual impairment, they may be hard of hearing, they may have dyslexia, all of these different things. So it's really about being aware of some of the features and ensuring that, when we're doing presentations and documents, that we're being mindful and leveraging some of these features to ensure that it is benefited by all. So accessible technology benefits everyone. And when I mean benefits everyone, it may be a permanent disability like some of the ones listed below. It may be a temporary impairment. So, a few years ago, I broke my wrist and that completely changed the way I use my mouse, and I had to rely on keyboard shortcuts and everything with my left hand. Or it may be situational. So it may be, you're traveling, you're commuting on the train, you're trying to take a call, you've got noise in the background, or you don't have enough space to use your laptop, so you have to use mobile. There's lots of different situations. It may be that you just have a personal preference or a unique learning style. So for me personally, you can see that I've got a bright purple arrow, and that's because I really find it frustrating trying to find a little white arrow on a white background. So me personally, that's why I've created the arrow to be purple, to find it really quickly. So that's just a personal preference. So there is a bunch of resources in here that we have from Microsoft, which I'll make sure I copy and paste into the chat. There's nice ways, there's blogs, there's stories, there's our YouTube channel that you can get some really in-depth, nice videos, and then accessibility support. So I'm not an expert, I'm just someone that's really passionate about this. But if you do need to be connected to an expert and, have those offline conversations, then we do have people that you can call, and a support team you can also chat to as well. So demo, I'm going to get on with the demo. I'm going to go through some stuff within Teams first, go through the ease of access settings. If we've got time, do some features within Microsoft Edge, and then show you some features such as dictate in Office applications. I'm going to focus on PowerPoint today. So I'm going to minimize and I'm going to jump back onto, because there's some stuff I want to show you in here. So first of all, I'm going to talk about my background. Now, hopefully you can all see this amazing Future of the Festival background. I love it, by the way, but this actually stemmed from kind of an accessibility hackathon in our corp offices in America. So I'm going to actually change it quickly to my blur background, because this is what came about. This is how blur background came about. So it was actually a lot of feedback that we got from those who were hard of hearing, who relied on lip reading when they were on video calls, and, you know, having people walk past in the background, having, you know, business of like the washing or your office, really found it hard for people to be productive and focus on the lip reading. So that's why a blur background came about. Obviously, to the extension now, you can add corporate pictures, you can change everything like that. So that is kind of an extension of where we got to, but that does send about as an accessibility hackathon. The next thing within meetings, and to make it, you know, really inclusive for everyone, is you can turn on your live captions. Now, what I love about this is I've turned it on. It means that for me, I've got these captions on, but for everyone else, if you want to turn them on, you can. It is that preference. You may see now, I'm not sure if it's been rolled out to all the tenants, but you can see that it says Polly M is talking. So we got a lot of feedback from those who relied on these captions to say that actually it was great that we could see what was being said, but we wanted to know who was speaking as well. So it actually picks up who's talking too. So we've got the live captions there, which I'm going to just turn off. So we've got live captions, we've got blur background, and the other thing is your raise your hand feature. So this is more about inclusive, making sure meetings are inclusive. So, you know, you're not interrupting people when you're talking. You can just raise your hand, and then I'll see that you've raised your hand, and we can pause, we can have a little chat, or someone can ask their question. So there are a bunch of features that we have within Teams. I'm now going to go over to my demo tenant to show you some more features within Teams. So let me pull this through. I'm just going to go to a chat. Let me pick a chat with Alex. So this is just a really random chat because I just want to show you translate and immersive reader. So you can now translate your messages, and you can use immersive reader, which brings a lot of other features. So this is within Teams. So it may be, hopefully this works. This is my basic French speaker knowledge. I don't know much more, so I'm hoping it can translate this. See that, you know, you can feel comfortable, you can write in your, you know, your native language. I often communicate with people across Europe in different time zones, and you know, it's nice that people can feel comfortable talking in their language and that you can just easily translate it. So there's an example. It works straight within Teams. You've also got Immersive Reader. So if I click on these three dots and click Immersive Reader, you can see it's taken away all the business from Teams, and it's just pulled through the text. Now with this text, straight away, it's got, you know, it's taken away everything from the background. So I can easily just work on maybe this document, or whether it's a long text or anything like that. I can actually click this button and it can play out loud. I can click on the voice speed here, and I can change it to make it really fast or slow, and the voice selection as well, so you can take that at your own pace. We've got over here text preferences, so you can increase and decrease the size. So if you are someone who has a visual impairment, you can, you know, really max it up, and you can magnify that. You can increase the spacing. So this is a feature for those who suffer with who are dyslexic, sorry. They can increase the spacing to help you know, digest the information. We've got a couple of fonts there, which are the accessibility recommended fonts. And then we've got the background themes as well. So this is especially useful for people if you're staring at a screen all day, if the brightness is starting to give you a headache, if you're finding it hard to concentrate, that all helps as well. We've got grammar options. So this is mainly used within schools. So if I turn on nouns, you can see the purple is brought out, you know, Alex's name, Thursday, the month. So this is really useful in education, especially for those who are learning their parts of the speech, or it might be actually that English isn't your first language, and you need that support, and you can get that through Teams. You've also got syllables here, so you can turn syllables on and off. And again, for those who are dyslexic, this really helps to you know, break down the words and digest the information. So there's a bunch of features in here, and then we've also got reading preferences as well. So if you do want that line focus, you can get that line focus. and you can also translate the document. So I actually work with a colleague, Spanish is her first language, and she still finds it hard to read really big, long, chunky messages in English. So what she'll do is she'll right click, she'll jump on Immersive Reader, and she will just translate it. For this particular demo, I'm just going to go to Bulgarian, click translate by document, and you can see I can then switch between the original and Bulgarian. So it's really good if you just want to quickly read in your native language, or, you know, take away the business of Teams so you can digest the information. So that is Immersive Reader within here. Also within your settings, I'm going to click on my settings. Appreciate this is a demo account, so I'm not actually Alan. I can go into my settings here, and you can again change your default theme if you want it to be dark, high contrast. A lot of people at Microsoft work in dark mode. It's just proven to help concentrate, especially, you know, we're all working from home now. We're staring at a screen quite a lot. So this is really important. So that is everything I wanted to show you within Teams. I'm now going to come out of my Teams demo client and go into ease of access. So if you are on Windows 10, this is no longer hidden. You can see I've just typed in ease of access and it's brought it up. If you do have Cortana switched on, you could just say ease of access and it will bring it up. But this is where I would encourage everyone to just spend 10 minutes, go through here and, you know, change things about to just help you you know, work, be more productive, and make it work for you, really. So you can see one of the things I've done is my mouse pointer. I've told you about how a white mouse and a white background, I find it quite frustrating. So I've got the purple mouse. So you can see it's split into vision here, hearing and interaction. And then underneath is based by frequency of what I've used. Magnifier, this is a really good one. I often use this, especially when I'm demoing, to make sure, you know, some of this text is really small when you share your screen. So you can just see underneath some of the short key cuts. So if I hold my Windows and my plus here, I've turned it on and I can zoom in, and that's magnifier for you, and then zoom out. So you can zoom in, you know, past 100 there. I'm going to turn it off. You've got color filters. So there's so many people who I've spoken and showed this, and they were completely transformed by it. They didn't know that this existed, and it made such a difference. So the statistics are actually 1 in 8 men are colorblind. So, you know, just having this color filter in here, come in, you can turn it on, and, you know, change it to what best suits you, and that will change your whole interface. So all the apps you see when you open your internet browser, everything will change for you. So that's color filters. I take a bit of time to have a little browse in here just because of time. Hearing, we've got mono audio. We can turn that on, so that combines both the left and the right. Often, you know, when you're listening to things, it can just come out of one or the other, but this combines the both into one channel. Interaction, so you've got speech, so you've got things like dictate in here, so you can turn on your speech recognition, and like I said, you could say Cortana and it could take you to things. So this is really an awesome feature. I'll show you that within PowerPoint as well. And then you've kind of got keyboard sticky keys and shortcuts in here. Eye control, if you have a screen reader, you can enable this. So there's loads of functions that you can have within here. So if you do have 10 minutes to spare, jump into ease of access, have a little play around in here just to make, you know, your tools work for you, and so you can be enabled as well. But absolutely also increase the awareness of this too, because a lot of people don't know that that's here. So just the fact they can zoom in, change the brightness, change you know, the color filters is really powerful. So I'm going to jump out of this, and I'm now going to go into, should have a PowerPoint, plain PowerPoint here. So this is, you know, just PowerPoint, but this, everything I'm going to talk about applies to loads of different office applications. So Word, Excel, all of those kind of things. I'm going to start off by inserting a couple of photos. Let's pick dogs. We all like dogs. So I'm going to click a couple of cute pictures of some dogs. I'm going to insert them. So I've pulled in a couple of pictures here. You can see I haven't even clicked anything yet, and it's pulled design ideas through. Underneath, you can see it says alternative text, a dog sitting in the grass, a dog sitting, all of these kind of things. So it pulls through, you know, it's already got alternative text. So that alternative text is for those who are relying on a screen reader. So first top tip is, if you are doing presentations, make sure that you do alternative text for your images, because those that rely in, you know, on screen readings and things, they can hear what the picture is describing. So you've got all the design ideas. So within a couple of pick the best one for you. Really easy to do. So the days of spending like 3 hours trying to create something pretty like this is over. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you, was design ideas. If we go into home, this is where you have dictate. So I always dictate all my notes, especially I'm one of those people that I like to have a transcript to practice my demos, to feel comfortable what I'm saying, and dictate, you know, allows you to record yourself and it pulls it through. So I'm not sure if this is going to work just because of the way the noise and everyone on the call is, but let's give it a go anyway. So I might want to dictate, I can turn it on. And if I start talking, potentially words may come through in my notes. It may not pull through. Okay, it's pulling a few things through there. So you can see that I'm dictating my notes. I'm going to turn it off. But yeah, so this is where I do my notes. I dictate that, so it's really quick to. It also pulls through, you know, how you would talk as well, especially if you're typing. It usually comes across more formal than you want to talk. So I always dictate, you know, my notes, but you can also do that through your Outlook, dictate your emails and everything like that. So we've got dictate. You can also you know, dictate in different languages as well. So I have chosen English, but you've got preview languages. You can see there's about 10 there, so you can dictate in different languages as well. If we go jump to review, you've got check accessibility. Delia, I'm getting some background noise. Could you just mute whoever is not muted, please? So on check accessibility, this gives you kind of accessibility inspections on your PowerPoint. So what you can do is, you know, go through your PowerPoint once you've done it, make sure that, you know, you're not missing things like alternative text for your images, that you've got a slide, that you've got the right text, that you've got the right font, certain colors are not contrasting together. So if you've got a blue background and blue text, it will highlight that. And you can click on additional resources here, additional information, and find out more ways that you can make your documents accessible. You can see also in here we've got translate. So you can translate things really quickly. So especially if I'm demoing to, you know, you guys today, but I might then fly over to France and demo things about Teams as well, I can then share this document and translate. So I could easily put, you know, just hello in here, highlight it, and it's in Catalan here. I can insert, and it's pulled through hola. So you can easily, quickly translate things as well. If we go to slideshow, I'd always say make sure you are clicking, always use subtitles. It means that when you're presenting, I appreciate I haven't got this deck presented, but when you're presenting, it pulls through the captions for everyone. And then you can also change the language as well. Based on the preview features, you can make sure that your subtitles can be in German, French, different ones as well. Appreciate, you know, if we think about subtitles and the accuracy, it's probably be about 90-95%. The more people use it, the more we get the data, the more we can improve it. So I'd really encourage to use that. And finally, we've got 10 active text. Not sure where. It's because I've got this all up. There you go. Alternative text. So you can see that it's already brought through a dog sitting on a rock. I can then make this better. I can put, you know, a dog sitting on a rock, you know, outside. It's a sunny day. You've got leaves in the background as well. So you can get even more descriptive. So machine learning will pull it through to an extent, but then you can, you know, add that, make it even more accessible as well. So everything I've just showed you there, that is within PowerPoint. You can do it within Office apps generally. They all have, you know, the ability to translate, dictate, check accessibility, Outlook, all of those kind of things. So definitely give that a play around. And finally, for a couple of more minutes, and then we'll take some questions. I'm going to open up a quick internet browser. I'm just going to go. Have we got any questions while I'm just getting something up, Delia? I'm not sure if we do.
We haven't got any questions, but everyone's loving it, and they're sort of saying that they never knew half of these features existed and how they can use it with people in their team now. So yeah, really good.
Amazing. I'm just trying to find, okay, found something. I just wanted to go into BBC News, but obviously the news, there's not great information in there at the moment. It's quite sad. So I tried to quickly find a nicer article without, you know, making you see all of that. So we've got up here, I've managed to get a document about Planet Mars. But what I wanted to show you here is, you know, within Teams, I've just showed you Immersive Reader and all of that. Now, if you've got in Microsoft Edge, so it is Microsoft Edge, you can continue to do this within your browser. So I've gone into BBC News, I've picked an article, so it needs to be a little bit deeper. It can't just be like the landing page, it needs to have text and stuff. And again, I find this really distracting, white background, loads of text, loads of pictures. You know, what you can do again is use Immersive Reader that you've got within the internet browser. Clicked on it straight away, it's taken away all the business. Again, I've got everything's just for me to view and read and taking in my own time. You can get it to read out loud, which is what I showed you. Sorry if you heard that or if it's just come through me, but that was really loud. Text preferences, you can increase and decrease the text. Again, the spacing, the page themes, grammar tools, especially, you know, if English isn't your first language or you've got kids, you know, all those kind of stuff. It's such an important thing that they can come in here and you can teach them about, you know, what nouns are and, you know, help them with that. To break down the words. And reading preferences again, so we've got line focus and you can translate the document as well into different languages. So I just want to show you that you can do that within Microsoft Edge as well. It's not just Microsoft Teams, that you can get that immersive experience. So that is about 5.2, and that was my demo and everything I had kind of planned to show you. So we can either finish 5 minutes early or I'm happy to take any questions. If there's anything, Delia, I am in the meantime going to share with you some really awesome links that just helps.
We've got one question. So one company have restricted some of the access in the ease of access centre. And I wasn't sure of the answer on that one, why they would have restricted it, but perhaps there's conflicts or something like that. Have you heard of any people turning off anything in the ease of access centre?
No, you would have to talk to your organisation and understand why they've done that. They clearly created a policy. I've also just sent a message and I realised it's huge text because that is really not accessible, is it? So let me just get that for you. But yeah, I would talk to your organization. The reading preference, you need to be using Microsoft Edge and you need to be having quite a deep link for it to be able to do that. So it won't work with the BBC News landing page because there's so many different stories. You need to click quite into a story to then be able to do that. Is there anything else just while I'm typing out these links?
We're asking where the reading preferences are, and it's different, isn't it, in different internet browsers. So we're saying that it is best in Edge, but you can go to the settings and use read aloud in other ones as well. But yeah, normally it's on the address bar, isn't it, Polly, that you've got the immersive reader.
Yes.
You can just normally see it there. If not, you'd have to go into like file in the settings, but normally it's just right next to the address of the internet web page that you'll find that.
Anything else? Sorry, I'm just typing out some text.
I think a few people might have joined us late. So if you did join us late, then the recording will be made available so that you can watch it back. And we have got a list of the features that we've been through as well. So there was the resources that Polly's just posted. So you should have access to that.
Yes, all of those are customer facing, so you can easily do all those links that I've shared with you. Is there anything else?
Well, we've got quite a long one here. All these accessibility features are really great, but users still need to make them work with their existing assistive ICT magnifiers, so they work seamlessly. It really helps to increase awareness, but users need to be educated on the implementation of accessibility. For example, not any image description will do. Microsoft training resources online will help, so that's really good. So yeah, I think it's just an understanding, isn't it, for all of us, that we are basically all responsible, and the more we put in, like the alt tags that you showed us, the more useful it is for people. And another thing is tables, isn't it, as well? We've got to be really careful what information we put in tables and how we do that.
Yes, no, that's great advice. So thank you who wrote that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And again, it is an awareness piece. A lot of the features are there and they are unfortunately hidden in some cases. So they're, you've got to go to review to find it, and it does stem from awareness. So it's great that we started today increasing the awareness. Absolutely feel free to share those links that I've shared out with your organization. Again, we've got lots of demo videos and support documents. And again, it's just us being aware what's out there and leveraging them and thinking kind of when we create an email document, what can we do to ensure that the person receiving this is going to have the best experience as well.
Well, we've just got a question come in about do we know when Arabic will be added for live captions?
Short answer, have no idea, sorry, but I can absolutely take that offline, talk to the product engineering team. This is something that we've started off with a few languages, but absolutely it will be evolving and expanding. I think there's about 50. Appreciate there's more than 50 languages out there, so let me take that to the engineering team. And how's best to contact you? If I contact you through your maybe Delia, I'm not sure where the organization is from, but I'll make sure that if I find out information that you get that.
And I think we've got one thing coming up about usability with the chats keep popping up. Yeah, we find that at Dorset Council that we basically have to go into the notifications and turn the chat off when we're doing sort of presentations, and lots of chat is coming up in there, but perhaps that's something that we can raise with user voice. We have got user voice, haven't we, Polly? So if there are things that are really frustrating, or you can have a little look on the roadmap to see if other people are saying the same thing, so that improvements can be made for some of the features too. So perhaps check that out.
Absolutely, and appreciate, we really do appreciate customer feedback for our tools. This is how we create new features and land new features. It's based on, your thoughts and your customer feedback. So I appreciate, pop-ups that may be frustrating for you right now. Let's see if we can find a link in Unit Voice where you can vote or, give that feedback and put that onto the top minds of our engineering team. But perfect, we're at time, so I hope you all found that useful. Thank you for all the questions, and it's great that you have been really engaged as well. So thank you so much for your time. All right, thanks, Celia. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.